It's about freaking time. Guys, this one you're going to want to send out because Trump just opened the door to hardening schools. I want to walk you through every single piece of what you need to know right now, and this is a very important part of this whole discussion. But Trump just opened the door, which we're going to explore right now, about hardening schools, arming teachers, military, giving jobs to security. This is a big one, guys. Make sure you send this one out everywhere. You hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you are looking to tell that septum nose ring wearing purple haired monster interrupting your notifications to pack it and shove it. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on for your pleasure. All right, listen, people, let's get into this. We got to talk about something on my X profile at Braden LOA. Make sure you jump over there and join me. Let's jump straight into the entire little skirmish, as you were. All right, here's what I want to set the premise for this as we go forward. Everyone likes to address the people who believe in gun rights as the ones who are guilty. We love our guns more than our children. We love XYZ more than children. We have blood on our hands. Everything's our fault. We are totally okay with the gun lobby funding Washington, D.C. with dark money, and we want everyone to die because we love guns more. Insert rhetoric bullshit here. Now, here's the point. It's backwards. The left will not negotiate on anything. They want their gun control, or they will allow everything to keep on happening. The big payoff, the big thing they're holding hostage here is the solution to the problem. Here's what I mean, and I said this in a short earlier. If you have a problem in any field of your either study, your environment, your life, your work, when something sets on fire, or something is bleeding, or something is legitimately having an issue, the first thing you do is you stop the status quo, you stop the machine, you apply the tourniquet to stop the damage, and then you assess. And then you provide a long-term solution to prevent it from happening again. That is standard operating procedure, whether you are in the medical field or you were in a technological field. You find the problem, you stop the bleeding, you resolve the short-term issue, and then you find the solution for the long-term. It's very simple, it's easy. The left doesn't want to do that. The left only wants to take your gun rights, wants to take my gun rights, wants to take our children's gun rights. And if you don't give them your gun rights, then they want to do absolutely nothing while bitching and moaning about the fact that you do nothing because you didn't give them everything that they want. And if it happens again, that's your fault. That's the game. They want all or nothing. They don't want to harden the schools and apply a tourniquet. They don't want to secure our children. They don't want to do any of those things because they can't then stand on a problem that no longer exists. That's the whole point. And it's insane and it's crazy. But if you want to be part of the offense of what we're doing, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join me because that's where we're going. All right, let's get into this. This is Trump's little announcement. I said my piece at the beginning. Let's get it. All right, Trump, take it away.
Something else. We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shooting, but we also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really, I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place, and it takes a lot of disadvantages to doing, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But
oh, sorry, I had my audio on the whole time. I thought I turned it off. Sorry. Here's the thing, guys. You are looking at a pragmatic solution right there. If you go down the route of only one-way doors and all these different things, in the worst case scenario, those one-way doors are used against the people trying to solve the problem. That's the whole point. You can dance around the fact that we need to harden our schools with armed security guards to protect all of our children, or you cannot argue about it. But the fact is, you are avoiding the solution that is the most applicable, and you're having to cause all these billions of dollars of infrastructure changes when the solution is right in front of your face. We put armed guards in front of banks. We put armed guards around celebrities, politicians, around baseball stadiums, around every other thing you can imagine. But we're not going to put it around our children. Just saying, it's pretty easy. And the left, of which I'm going to show you in 1 second, is ready and willing to kill any type of negotiation or funding, Chris Murphy style. All right, let's keep it going. He's got some good points.
I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. I'd have to be studied, but they're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, but I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just, we've had a lot of instances. Other countries have also. They have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have, there's something going on, and it's a bad thing. Yes, please.
That's the whole point, guys. There is obviously a problem. Anybody in their brain has a brain knows there's a problem. But lining up to take inanimate objects and people's rights away in a short-term final solution against gun rights is not the answer, right? You harden the schools, you apply that tourniquet, you provide the security and the safety that is necessary, and then you work on a long-term solution. Like, I don't know, why is this all of a sudden something that's happening in our population? Increase in mental illness, all sorts of dysphorias. You can put insert whatever you want there. But here's my last point to buttress my thesis on this. I'm going to show you Chris Murphy, Mr. Gun Control in the Senate, literally destroying funding for hardening schools and protecting children because it's not the gun control he wants. Watch this. This is Chris Murphy. This is history right here, 2 years ago.
A very quick look at this bill suggests that it likely opens up the use of those funds to arming teachers in our school. I think that's a terrible idea. This is all to say that this isn't how the process works. You don't drop a piece of legislation on the floor of the Senate and 2 minutes later demand that the whole Senate pass it. You do that if your intent is to create conflict for the purposes of publicity. I don't know what the senator's intentions are, but if that was your intention, this is what you would do. If you were interested in actually passing something, you would have dialed up the authors of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act and asked to be part of that negotiation. You'd have reached out to my office after the objection last year and said, what's your objections? Let's sit down and do something together. That's how legislation gets passed in this place. I know because I've done it on this topic. And I'm not saying that the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act solved the problem. I know we have more work to do. I know it because I spend time with those same families every single week. I know it because I live in a dangerous neighborhood in South Hartford. I talk to those kids who have to fear for their life when they go to school. And that's why my purpose for being in the Senate is to work like hell across the aisle through compromise, not by coming down here, dropping a bill on the floor, and then immediately demanding that the entire Senate vote for it. That's not how we save kids' lives. Compromising, working towards compromise, behind the scenes, not always in front of the cameras. I object.
So now keep in mind, when he objects like that, he killed any school funding for hardening of schools and arming teachers. That's Mr. Gun Control in the Senate. You want to see what it actually says when you look up all the summation of what he just did? Murphy called the bill ham-handed and accused Cruz of seeking cable news appearances rather than a compromise. He noted that a very quick look at this bill suggests that it likely opens up the use of those funds to arming teachers, which he called a terrible idea. Okay, listen. It's a terrible idea, anything that you come up with short of taking gun rights away from people. They crow on the idea that they want to have compromise, but when was the last time you saw a leftist or a gun controller compromise in the lean to the right version or the correct version or the Second Amendment side of the conversation? No, their idea of compromise is just like a child's. You're going to do what I want to, and if not, you're a bad person. It's that simple. Guys, we're going on the offense here, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. I'll see you on the next one.